Hello, Paula Daniele from Crochet Hooks You here, and this is the crochet baby beanie that I'll show you how to make today. This is the easiest way I know of to make a quick baby beanie, and I'll show you sizes from newborn up to 12 months old. This is just a quick view of what the beanie looks like off the head. Now the materials required for this beanie are, well, I'm using Red Heart Baby Econo, and this is a category 4 medium worsted weight yarn, and the colour I'm using is strawberry. Now with this yarn I'm using a 5mm hook, and you'll also need your craft scissors and a yarn needle. And you can also choose to add any embellishments you like buttons or ribbons. I'll let you know what you need to do for each size as we go through this tutorial. So to start any size beanie, we'll do a slip knot first to get started, and we'll chain 4. One, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to make a slip stitch into the first chain. So we're joining with a slip stitch to form a ring. For the first round we'll be chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and this yarn tail will be working over as we work into the ring, so you just hold it at the back of the ring like that. So now we'll be doing 15 double crochet into the ring. So 15 double crochet stitches into the ring. There's 1, and working over the tail as you go. There's 2, 3. So continue on around making your 15 double crochet stitches into the ring, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so I've done my 15 double crochet into the ring, and this chain 3 that we did at the start counts as 1 stitch. So at this stage we now have 16 stitches, so 15 double crochet plus the chain 3 equals 16 stitches. To complete this round we're going to join into the top of the chain 3, and we'll do a slip stitch. So as I said, at the end of round 1 we'll have 16 stitches. For round 2 we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for this round will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So here's our first double crochet, and then a second double crochet into that same stitch. Into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. So that's the sequence you'll repeat. So 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and repeat that right around to the last stitch. Up to my last stitch on round 2, and into this last stitch we'll do 2 double crochet stitches. one and second one into that same stitch, 2 double crochet into that last stitch, and there's our join. And now we're going to join into the top of the chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work into both loops of that chain and make a slip stitch to join the round. So at the end of round 2 you should have 24 stitches. For round 3 we'll start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for this round will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So we'll do 2 double crochet into this stitch, so there's 1, there's our second double crochet into that stitch, and into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet. So that's our sequence for right around: 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and repeat that right around up until the last 2 stitches. So I'm up towards the end of round 3 and I have 2 stitches left here. There's our join, and into this next stitch here we're going to do 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1, and there's our second one, and into the last stitch here 1 double crochet. Now we'll join into the top of the chain 3, so count 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go under both loops of that chain and make a slip stitch, and that ends that round. So at the end of round 3 you should have 32 stitches. For round 4 we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for round 4 will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So into this next stitch we'll do 2 double crochet stitches, so there's 1, and we'll do our second one into that same stitch, so there's 2 double crochet stitches. Into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet. So repeat this sequence right around: 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and complete that right around until you have 3 stitches left. So I'm up towards the end of round 4 and I have 3 stitches remaining here, and into this next stitch we'll do 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1, and there's our second one into the same stitch. Into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, into the next and last stitch, 1 double crochet, and now we can join into the top of the chain 3, just going under both loops of that chain and making a slip stitch to join the round. And at the end of round 4 you should have 40 stitches. Now if you're wanting to make a newborn to 3-month-old size beanie, at this point you'll need to skip to round 8 to start on the sides. Otherwise, if you're wanting to make a larger size, let's continue on with round 5. So for round 5 we'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for this round will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So into this next stitch here we'll do our 2 double crochet. So there's 1, 2, into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, 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 so repeat that sequence right around. So it's 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches, and continue that right around until you get to the last 4 stitches. Towards the end of round 5, and I have 4 stitches left here, so into the next stitch we'll do 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1 and a second one into that same stitch. There's 2. Into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, and into the next and last stitch, 1 double crochet. Now we're ready to join into the top of the chain 3. And we're going to work under both those loops of that chain and just make a slip stitch to join this round. So at the end of round 5 you should have 48 stitches. Now if you're wanting to make a 3-month to 6-month-old size beanie, at this point skip to round 8 to be working on the sides. Now if you want larger size, you'll continue on with round 6. So for round 6 we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for this round will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So we'll do 2 double crochet stitches into this next stitch. So there's 1, there's 2, into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, 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 and into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. So repeat that sequence right around. It's 2 double crochet into the next stitch and then 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And keep repeating that right around until you're up to the last 5 stitches. I'm up towards the end of round 6 and I have 5 stitches left. So into the next stitch we'll do 2 double crochet. So here's 1, and into the same stitch a second double crochet, and there's 2. Into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet, and into the next and last stitch 1 double crochet. And then we can join into the top of the chain 3, working under both of the loops of the chain, and just make a slip stitch to join the round. So at the end of round 6 you should have 56 stitches, and if you're wanting a 6-month to 9-month-old size beanie, at this point you'll skip to round 8 to start working on the sides. Now if you want the beanie to be a larger size, you'll continue on with round 7. So for round 7 we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our sequence for this round will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1, 2, and then we'll be doing 1 double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. And to the next stitch, that's 1, into the next stitch, that's 2, 3, into the next stitch, 4, to the next stitch, 5, into the next stitch, and there's our 6th one. And that'll be our sequence for this round. So 2 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches around. So continue that right around up until the last 6 stitches. I'm up towards the end of round 7 and I have 6 stitches left here. So into the next stitch we'll be doing 2 double crochet stitches into the same stitch. So there's 1 and 2 double crochet stitches into that stitch. into the next stitch 1 double crochet, 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 into the next and last stitch 1 double crochet, and then we'll join into the top of the chain 3 under both loops of the third chain there to join this round with a slip stitch. So at the end of round 7 you should have 64 stitches. So for a 9-month to 12-month old size beanie, you'd now continue on to round 8, and we'll be making the sides now. Okay, so we're up to round 8 where we'll be starting to make the sides now. So for round 8 we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll be doing 1 double crochet into each stitch around, right around to the end. And that's all you'll be doing on this round. So 1 double crochet stitch into each stitch around. So this is the easy part. So continue on making 1 double crochet stitch into each stitch around, and I'll see you at the end of round 8. I'm up towards the end of round 8. I've done my 1 double crochet stitches into each stitch around, and now to complete this round we'll join into the top of the chain 3 and just make a slip stitch. And that's the end of round 8. Now for all following rounds, if you're making the newborn to 3-month-old size, you'll repeat round 8 4 more times. If you're making the size 3 months to 6-month-old, repeat round 8 5 more times. If you're making the size 6-month to 9-month-old, repeat round 8 for 6 more times. And if you're making the 9-month to 12-month-old size, repeat round 8 7 more times. Okay, so once you have the length that you require for the size beanie by repeating round 8, then you can finish off. So you can trim your yarn and leave enough of a tail to weave into the inside of the work with a yarn needle. So finish off and then thread this yarn tail into your yarn needle. And then you can just work down through your stitches. So just keep going on down, and then you can trim that off. And then with the inside, just pull that tight. Leave that end into your yarn needle. And then just work that yarn tail around the centre. And you can keep going around as much as you like, and then you can trim that off. Now if you want to take your baby beanie to the next level, the best thing to do is add a bit of ribbon and a nice little button to the front, and that just really tops it off and takes it from being ordinary to extraordinary. So I hope you've liked this tutorial, and if you'd like to share a photo of your baby beanie, please post a photo on the Crochet Hook Shoe Facebook page.